Are you ready to start growing and scaling yourself and your business from anywhere in the world? This is the Scale You Podcast Season 2, where we are focused on exploring a lot of the lifestyles and variations of these lifestyles of being a digital nomad. I was inspired to do this for Season 2 just because I was a speaker at 𝗪𝗁𝘁 Digital Nomad Festival way back in June. And since then, we've had a lot of amazing guests. A lot of people have interviewed who just travel and work from anywhere in the world, whether they are working on their own careers or their own business. And this is our final episode for this season, and I have brought along an amazing guest for you guys to learn from and to listen to. So if you're ready to ditch the grind, let's go ahead and scale you. Now, our guest today is Jan Richter. He is the founder and driving force behind EasyDeutsch, a platform dedicated to making German grammar accessible and easy to understand for learners around the world. His unique 95% method focuses on the regular of the 95% of the grammar rules, making learning more efficient and less intimidating for students. Jan's work has reached thousands of people from all over the world, with his own website hitting 320,000 viewers per month. He has authored multiple ebooks and continues to create innovative resources to support German learners. His mission is to prove that learning the German language isn't difficult, just usually taught in an overcomplicated way. And the best part is his business is totally on autopilot. That's why he has the time to create essentially Nomads in Paradise. This is an event that's coming in 𝗪𝗪𝗲, Philippines, this coming November 10 to 17. I will be there as well. That's why I'm super excited for you guys to meet Jan. Okay, so please let me introduce you guys to my friend Jan. Hi, Jan.
Hello.
How are you today? How's Japan?
I'm good. It's warmer here than expected for Japan. Almost Philippines temperature.
So it's saying a lot coming from a place where it's a little bit higher on the equator and supposed to be fall season. So start us off with, speaking of digital nomads, it's perfect that you're traveling at the moment. But tell us more of how you started, or rather, who was Jan before actually you started, before you became a digital nomad? What was that life for you?
Before I became a digital nomad, I was an analog nomad because I was working for a German tour operator in sales. So I was selling excursions, and I did this for 2 years in Spain, 1 year in Mexico, and that's already always like 9 to 10 months of work, and then 2 to 3 months of paid off. And I did this for 3 years, and then I quit that job and traveled Latin America with my backpack, so not doing anything other than traveling, and decided after 1 year that I want to stay in Brazil with my now ex-wife. And that's where I actually also started to become a digital nomad. I was like 2 years very stationary in Brazil, but that's where I started my business, what I'm doing till today.
Got it. Tell us more about that then. From that switch of having to kind of travel, but then you're kind of on assignment, to now being a digital nomad. What is that transition like for you? And tell us more about what you do.
When I wanted to stay in Brazil, I had pretty much 2 options. It was either going back to tourism, but working in a hotel, like reception in Brazil, that earns you like 200, maybe $250 a month for 60 hours of work every week. And I was like, I'm not getting up for this. There must be a way that I can make money online. Maybe also just those $200 to $250, but for way less hours than 60 hours per week. So that's how I actually started. It was pre COVID, all the times where everybody was working online. I don't think anybody had invented the term digital nomad back then. It was in 2013. And I was like working at the beginning in online call center. So that was the first thing you could pretty much do also online and from home. You only had to have internet, and I was doing this a little, but also learning a little bit how you can make money online, and it was pretty clear that one of the best ways is having your own website. So that's when I started to learn how to actually build a website. And my very first website was like how to make money online. That's what I was studying at the moment anyway. But at the time I was living in a super small village in northeastern Brazil. And surprisingly, I was German around in the entire area, and there was like one girl studying engineering, and she wanted to study engineering also in Germany, but in order to do that she needs to pass a basic German language test, and she approached me if I could teach her German, because I'm the only German anywhere near here.
Around, yeah.
So I was like, why not? I'm a native speaker, so it should be no problem. So I started to teach her German, and for me that was a lot more fun than the online call center thing. So I also started to teach people online, because that was also another thing you can do online easily, is teaching languages. So after for students, I pretty much got rid of this online call center job and started to teach more or less full time, and was also starting to actually set up a website learning about German grammar in particular. At the beginning, not really with the intention to make money with it, more like with the intention to make my life easier, because back then people would tell you, oh, I didn't get the email with your explanations, oh, I cannot download the attachment, oh, I cannot open the attachment, I never got an email, there was only problems, and if I can just send a link with my explanations, then it makes my life so much easier, because nobody can tell me, oh, I cannot open a link to the website. So that's how it actually started. And after a while, Google picked up on it as well. And when I started to sell my website as a PDF, that's when I could pretty much stop teaching slowly. Because then people were actually buying a PDF of my website. So I created more and more ebooks so I can sell them more, because by now my website was getting quite a lot of traffic. And then I set up my funnels, and it's pretty automated now since 2016, 17. I think 16 I started to only take students that I really liked, and 17 I got pretty much rid of all students.
Wow. So, and I remember when we first met in 2019, that was kind of your main focus, was teaching people how to do this. And you were also teaching people like, hey, you know, languages, it's an easier kind of barrier of entry if you're trying to be a nomad, work anywhere, and of course your courses. So nowadays, is it still the same? Are you developing a new business? What does that look like? What does a day-to-day look like for you?
Pretty much. So the main business is still the same. I mean, I tweak the funnels a little bit, and have obviously new products, new ebooks, new courses coming up at the moment. Also working on something AI related for teachers, but also for people who want to learn German. And yeah, but it's pretty automated. I'm just working on new products. Everything that's old is automated, and I mean, I worked hard for it years ago, but it keeps on making money for me without a deadline for that. And newer projects are also, it's a conference actually in 𝗕𝗂𝗪 in the Philippines for digital nomads, or people who want to become digital nomads, because my personal reason is I want to give back to Filipinos, because I went to lots of those in the last 10 years, and I met most of my friends there. I met super influential people that just help you for no return over a beer or over a coffee, because you can talk to them in person in an informal setup. So building a network in this kind of events is super easy and super valuable. I would say, like, if I can choose between going 12 years to school, like I did in Germany, or going to like 12 of those events, you probably learn more in 12 of those events, at least for life and for business, than what you learn or what I've learned in school. So it's super valuable, and I want to bring this to the Philippines because there's barely ever any Filipino on those events for one particular reason. That's the passport. If I bring my friends and all the other people to the Philippines, there's no passport problem for Filipinos. That's why we're doing it this year in 3 weeks, actually 10 to 17th of November. For the first time in 𝗕𝗂𝗃, we're already around 100 people and expecting maybe 120, 130 at the end to attend the conference Nomads in Paradise in 𝗕𝗂𝗃 this November. I'm organizing this together with another friend, Filipino friend of mine.
Very, very cool. Yeah. Of course, spoiler for a lot of people who might be listening or watching this, I am one of the speakers for that. And this would be coming out essentially on the end of October. I'm double checking like when this episode will come out, on the 29th. So exactly a week from now when we're recording this on the 22nd. So if you guys are listening to this, we still have spots left, mostly because it's like very open and very big. And I know you're flying in so many other nomads from all over the world. It's super exciting. So what's the kind of goal that you have, aside from like bringing experts to the Philippines, or Filipinos flying out? What's kind of the goal, or something you're looking forward to for the Nomads in Paradise?
The goal is pretty much really to give Filipinos the opportunity to connect with this community, because I think the Filipinos, most of them love to travel. How many Filipinos that work remotely are actually in 𝗕𝗂𝗃, and one of the reasons is the international community in 𝗕𝗂𝗃, because they can actually make very good connections with high-level people from the Philippines, but also from outside the Philippines. And I just want to facilitate this way more, because 𝗕𝗂𝗃 is slowly getting more recognition among digital nomads, but still, in comparison to Thailand or Bali, it's nothing. I was recently on Nomad Cruise. That's another big conference, and barely anybody has ever heard of 𝗕𝗂𝗃 before, despite it being officially the fastest growing nomad spot in Asia. But it's coming from a super low level, so it's easy to have big growth rates.
It's gonna miss. Yeah.
And my goal is just to give Filipinos the opportunity to connect, maybe with their future employer, or maybe with a new business partner. Because I know there's many VAs in the Philippines who are always looking for new jobs, new gigs, and those people are usually ones that need assistance, need people that help them with their daily tasks. And I think it's a very good fit, Filipinos, connecting them with international entrepreneurs and nomads.
Very, very cool. And I love that vision, because like it aligns so much with where 𝗕𝗂𝗃 is going. Like I remember when I first went to 𝗕𝗂𝗃 in 2018, there was barely anything. But last 2022, I went there and there was like growing number of co-working spaces. There was internet in a lot of different places, and now as we're going into Nomads in Paradise in a little bit, we know that there's gonna be places where it's easy to be a digital nomad, essentially being in 𝗕𝗂𝗃. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. So I want to ask though, in first question, I guess, is how many countries have you been so far then?
Plus minus 60. I don't really count. That's like the more or less.
Got it. Which one has been your favorite? Maybe it is 𝗕𝗂𝗃, maybe somewhere else.
Favorite depends on the category. I usually use by category. If it's down to nature, it's Venezuela, because it's super untouched, because there's literally no development for like 30, almost 40 years now. I would say if it comes down to general quality of living and making everything easy, it's New Zealand, because everything is close, everything is super beautiful, and it's a first world country, so it comes with some comfort. But if it comes down to beaches and people, it's definitely the Philippines by far. My favorite. And for me, it always makes the people make the biggest difference in every country. Because you can see here in Japan right now, I mean, everything is beautiful, everything works more or less fine, but it's a different version of Germany and Asia, as people are very distant and look very depressed. So that that gives the entire experience always like a little bit of negative thing, and it's super hard to connect with locals because they don't speak English, and that's obviously no problem in the Philippines. That's why on the personal connection level, Philippines takes the top spot, with no second contender for a long time.
That's cool, and like it ties into, of course, like why you're doing it in the Philippines, why you're doing Siargao, and I've loved seeing kind of just that love that you have for Filipinos, so working with Filipinos as well, and yeah, looking forward to it. So for your digital nomad journey, what's kind of the thing that you're always looking forward to when you're traveling somewhere, either somewhere new or somewhere you've already been to before?
It's actually always the people, because I don't really travel for places anymore. I only travel for people, and that's why my travel itinerary is pretty much around events like Nomad Cruise, like 𝗪𝗪𝗶𝗶𝗀𝗶, where I'm right now in Japan, then in Nomads in Paradise, Bansko, Nomad Fest. Those are kind of the things where I travel to meet friends again. I barely go to new places, usually only if I go with somebody. So if a friend or somebody is already there and I've never been there, that's when I actually go. Like this year when my parents wanted to do a trip in South Africa. So I went with my parents to South America, and there were quite a few new countries. This year actually had like 5 new countries, but that's rare. Because we went to the places I've also never been to in South America, and skipped the stuff that I've already seen. So that was just a perfect fit. And yeah, but at the end, everything down to people. I only travel for people, pretty much.
Got it. And that's super cool. And I know, as someone who follows you on Instagram, I see a lot of your posts when you're just literally everywhere, but you're attending events, you're seeing people. So for you, like, what's your best piece of advice for creating connections, especially like I experienced it a little bit in 𝗪𝗀𝗀 when we were all there, where you would meet one group of people 1 week, and then the next week they're all flying out. So then you're meeting the new batch of people coming in. What is your piece of advice for people who want to create that connection, especially as you're traveling and as you're meeting people almost every single time that you're in a new place, or even in a place that you've been to already?
At the end, either travel slow so that you can actually give yourself time to make a connection, and that means stay at least 1 month in one place. It doesn't mean country, it means really place. So in one, like that year, like in Japan, that you stay just in Fukuoka for 1 month and not do like 1 week Tokyo, 1 week Osaka, 1 week Fukuoka. Now it has to be one place. If that's not really your style, the other option is going to conferences where you meet people that pretty much do have the same lifestyle. So like Nomad Cruise, like 𝗪𝗪𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗀, like Nomads in Paradise in Siargao this November. There you can meet people that also can't really stay in one place the entire year. And gone to a few of them, you can literally go anywhere in the world and just ask in a few groups, hey, is anybody around? Want to go for dinner or for a beer? And I mean, I can probably do this now almost all over the world because I've been to 2 to 3 of those events at least per year. Since pretty much 2017, with a short break during COVID. But
as we all did.
yeah, even during COVID, there were like a couple, but mostly in Mexico. But yeah, attending those events will also just kickstart your connections and everything, because there's like more or less the same people always going to those events. Obviously, there are always some new people, but it's good to meet the same people all over the world. Some people I've met already on almost every continent, and it's just the same person all over the place. And then you can also keep like real kind of circles of friendships that you usually only get if you live in one place the entire year. But if your circle of friends is simply doing the same thing what you do and also going to those events, you see them every 2 or 3 months, or even in between, which then you can have a proper friendship, which is sometimes really what many people missing when they're having a nomad life, that they actually get like proper friendships, because they're always moving and their new friends are not. So look for people that have the same lifestyle.
Got it. And I can see how it definitely helps in like following all of the people after 𝗪𝗁𝘁'𝘀 as well, seeing like, hey, you're in the same country, same city, and then you guys are meeting up for different events. So kind of doing the quote and unquote like slow mad way sounds like it's a good bet to develop those relationships. Perfect. So then, Jan, as you're doing a lot of this, as you're doing Nomads in Paradise, which is amazing, as you're continuing in your business as well, and as you see a lot of the growth, if we were to duplicate you, if we were to make 3 clones of Jan, 300 clones of Jan, what would be the value you want to create in the world? What's kind of that vision like for you as you create multiples of yourself, and like you have multiple people who would exactly do what it is that you say, basically?
Pretty much. I would probably run more charities, or like at the moment I'm still telling a little bit myself that I don't have time for that, because I'm not making enough money to not do anything, and then can create enough time for something like that. So if I can multiply myself, I would probably have more charities, more businesses, for sure. The more money I make, the more I can actually give away. But pretty much I always hate it if I see that somebody is disadvantaged for no reason other than looks or religion, and I really hate that. And that's something where you can do quite a lot to change that, because at the end it's often down to education. If somebody gets or is disadvantaged, or even if it's advantage, if you're smart enough to maneuver around, it doesn't really matter too much anymore. But yeah, to give more people the opportunity to actually create their own wealth, their own life in a way. Wanted to help people in that way, and I think Nomads in Paradise is kind of the first step in this direction. And yeah, that's what I would definitely do if I could multiply myself.
That's amazing, and I love that, and I love how it is already aligning in a lot of the things that you're currently doing. So thanks so much for sharing that with us. So Jan, how can people find you? How can people follow you? How can people support you also in that goal and dream of yours?
I'm pretty sure you put all my social links in the description. If you can follow me on Instagram, it's Nomads in Paradise. You can just put this into Google. It will put Instagram probably the first thing. But you can also follow me, my private Instagram. It's JANR_P8. And yeah, feel free to text me, follow me. I'm not really selling you anything. It's just like the conference that I want to promote the Philippines to foreigners and to Filipinos, that is a way that can help you a lot in your life, especially if you want to have a nomad life or just like being independent from bigger companies and Filipino salaries.
Sure. Well, thank you so much, Jan, for being on the 𝗕𝗂𝗃 podcast. Thank you so much for being fast responder as well, and getting on the podcast really quickly. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story and your vision as well.
Thank you for having me, Leon.
Again, all of Jan's links and how to connect with him, as well as how to join Nomads in Paradise, is going to be in description below. Make sure if you are going to sign up to use my last name, Lacaba, for 50% off on the tickets. Hopefully you guys are watching this as this episode comes out. That way you're able to hopefully book your tickets, hopefully grab your seat for Nomad in Paradise. I've been looking forward to this literally since June this year. So I've been looking forward to this for a while. There's going to be a ton of amazing speakers, a ton of amazing topics and talks, and I can't wait to hopefully see you guys there. And of course, if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there, whether you're watching this on YouTube or anywhere else. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, make sure to comment any questions you might have for Jan or for myself. And if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button wherever you're watching or listening this from, so then you don't miss any of the episodes on the 𝗕𝗂𝗃 podcast. Now, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and remember that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!